Taoiseach, I want to read some headlines for you. RTE, prepay energy customers will not be cut off, says Taoiseach. Irish Independent, pay-as-you-go energy customers will not be disconnected over winter. Taoiseach. The Journal.ie, Taoiseach confirms pay-as-you-go utility customers will not be disconnected if unable to top up. Very clear, very reassuring for the 340,000 electricity customers on meter and the 120,000 or so gas customers on meter. Headlines that are based on comments you made on RTEs this week. It would cause people to breathe a sigh of relief to say it's okay if I don't have money this winter to put money in the machine to top up the meter, my lights won't go off or my heat won't go out. The only problem, Taoiseach, is they're not accurate, are they? They're spin. Spin like you tried to give earlier to Deputy MacDonald. You're just playing with words. Because the truth, Taoiseach, and I'd like a clear answer on this, is that as things currently stand, these people will be cut off electricity or gas when their meters run out of money and they run through the €20 overdraft known as emergency credit. These are amongst the lowest income people in the country. They include 90,000 households who have previously experienced electricity debt, and they are not being protected from disconnection this winter. Instead, what the government is actually saying is they can go to the community welfare officer and look for support. No guarantee that they won't be disconnected. And Taoiseach, you need to act now. You need to act now to guarantee that nobody will be left without heat, without electricity this winter because they can't afford to pay. You can do it very simply by extending the emergency credit, as was done during COVID. And this scandal is just the latest abuse by the prepay companies of their customers. Highly profitable companies engaged in predatory practices. Prepay Power is the biggest prepay operator, owned by two of the richest men in Ireland. They increased their profits last year by 27%. They increased their prices this year 3 times, last year twice. And if people want to leave them, they're faced with a blizzard of potential charges amounting to well over €100 to dissuade them. They're effectively holding people hostage. Those exit charges should be banned entirely. They're only one particular section of households subject to extra abuse. There's another one, with multiple communications from people in apartment complexes on district heating systems. One here from Lansdowne Gate. Gas price increased 3 times, 300%. Unit rate increased from 7 cents per kilowatt to 27 cents per kilowatt hour. Tens of thousands of people in similar situations, even if they don't use the bills, they're still faced with extraordinary increases because of the network service charge, which goes on top of the standing charge. And when you tell them to shop around, they can't shop around. These people have no choices. It's an entirely unregulated sector. So Taoiseach, for us, this is clear. This proves the madness of a privatised, liberalised system. We think the energy system should be renationalised, run in public interest. But at the very, very least, I'll just ask you this, Taoiseach, will you intervene to ensure that nobody will have their lights go out or have their heat cut off this winter because they don't have money to put in the meter?
We have intervened. We have intervened. I would reject your presentation of this. I mean, the measures we have taken in putting cash into people's accounts, in reducing the bills, is unprecedented. I mean, I read out the list. Those measures we have taken have impact. And the impact they should demonstrably have is that people shouldn't be cut off, by definition, given the scale of it. Both the energy credits, the free fuel allowance, the double payments, right across the board, very substantial provision made, right to the end of this year and into the bill period of the 2 bill periods in early spring. And in addition to that, social protection is there to protect people from being disconnected in the event of them making a presentation in respect of saying that if I don't get X, my electricity or whatever will be cut off. And then the CRU has provided strong protections as well in respect of this. And people should not be cut off in the middle of winter in terms of heating or in terms of electricity. And government will work with providers and obviously the CRU as the statutory body regulating for this. But I think you're too dismissive of the extraordinary measures that have been included in the budget in respect of supports given to people on the lowest incomes, in terms of the variety of payments that I outlined earlier. And that was not spin, that is reality. You tend to do a lot of spin yourself, Deputy, when it suits on a whole range of issues. But these are facts that have been outlined in terms of the budget 23 members we've taken. There are €600 now in energy credits. There's a lump sum payment of €400 to fuel allowance recipients. There's a double week payment to all qualifying social protection recipients in October. The normal Christmas bonus will be paid. There's an extra €500 for working family payment and carer support grant recipients. There's a double child benefit payment in November. There's a once-off payment before Christmas for €200 to recipients of the living alone allowance, and €500 to those in disability allowance, invalidity pension, the blind pension. And then, as I say, additional funding across the board for a whole range of not-for-profit and voluntary organisations to help with energy costs and so forth. So these will have an impact. Now, if we didn't have all those measures, I accept the point that there could be disconnections and so on. But these measures will have impact. Will have impact in terms of this. And we need to, we'll keep monitoring this in terms of how it works out in terms of the reality. We have an idea in terms of the future pricing as to where the costs could go, or price rises could go in early spring in particular, and towards the end of the year. And we will continue to work with all concerned to ensure that people are not cut off. I don't agree at this stage with the idea that you would nationalise the entire energy system. And that would have enormous cost implications as well, which I think would have to be worked out. And I don't think you've made any presentation in respect of that.
Doctor, 1 minute.
Thanks. So on Sunday, prepay energy customers will not be cut off, says Taoiseach. Today, the Taoiseach says prepay customers should not be cut off. Which one is it? You're the Taoiseach. You have the power to prevent the disconnections. Instead, what you're actually saying today is these people have gotten enough money. Sure, it'll be their own fault if they run out and they're not able to put money in their meter. But you haven't given them enough money. These are some of the most vulnerable people in our country. And it's a very simple technical question. You can extend the emergency credit so that prepay customers will not be cut off. If you're on a bill, once the moratorium comes in, you're protected. You will not be cut off. But the truth is, as things currently stand, prepay customers can be cut off. If they don't put money in their meter, they run through the €20 overdraft, which is the only thing in reality that the CRU has done to protect people. That's half a week's electricity, then they can be cut off. So Taoiseach, I am looking for, and I'd say they are looking for, a guarantee that no prepay customers will be cut off this winter. And the way to do it is very, very simple. You did it during COVID. Extend the emergency credit to protect people.
To be fair now, Deputy CRU have done more than that. They have increased the emergency credit of no less than €20, but they've also include a reduction in the debt repayment level on pay-as-you-go meters from 25% to a maximum of 10%. So €20 event would have a €2 deducted to pay debt, and that came into operation on the 1st of this month. And then also an obligation on suppliers to advise their prepayment customers in debt of other payment options available to them, such as bill pay, an obligation on suppliers to place their customers who are on financial hardship meters on the most economic tariff. And then we have the additional protection of emergency social welfare payments to make sure that people can pay their bills.